Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Thingamajig Racing channel. This evening we are covering the Gran Turismo 7 Ultimate Racing League GRSC Season 1 League of Champions Round 6, which is at Mount Panorama. So the Ultimate Racing League, their Sunday evening racing. This is the pinnacle. They have about 6 leagues going. I lose count of what runs on a Sunday evening. And here at Thingamajig's Racing channel, we have been tasked this season to follow those of the League of Champions, the pinnacle of what their racers are aiming for. We're going to have 2 sprint races here at Mount Panorama for round 6, and we are sponsored by Dubby Energy Drinks and Eldridge Air Conditioning. What better way? Get off your nut on energy drinks whilst in a nice, cool, crisp room. Right then, the championship so far has been absolutely tight as a duck's rear derriere. Now, we have not had a change at the top. No. So we'll do the championship. Toby is at the top on 167 points. Bailey is in second on 155 points. Osman is third on 149 points. Victor is fourth on 111 points. Smith is fifth on 110 points. Brisbane is sixth on 109 points. And Toten is seventh on 100 points. Then we have Fitzy in eighth on 97 points. Grasshopper on ninth on 90 points. Unforgiven 10th on 85 points. Derg is 11th on 61 points. Grahamad Ali is 12th on 38 points, ahead of Neil Farmack in 13th on 27 points. Wacky Racer is 14th on 25 points. Kenny D is in 15th on 16 points, with Callum in 16th on 11 points. Now we're starting to see take shape who may get relegated from this season, and there is a list of 4 or 5. Also running, these guys are racing around representing teams. 2 drivers per league representing teams of, there's 8 teams involved, and they are also running their own championship. My word, Baz is in the chat saying good morning UK, and Thingy, do you ever sleep, my Belgian bullet friend? So, the group table as it stands is the touring cars guys are still at the top on 1,073 points. In second place is the F1 Benetton team, and they're on 1,063 points, only 10 points behind. It's close. In third place, Martini are on 874 points, with NASCAR in fourth on 864 points, only 10 points between those 2 teams as well. Tight. In fifth place, we have the World Endurance Championship team on 827 points, and in sixth, Red Bull on 801 points. In seventh, we have Liquor Molly on 684 points, with Iron Force in eighth on 646 points, but I do believe they have jumped substantially from the last round closer to Liquor Molly. So there's battles throughout the championship, team championship, so you've got to keep in there, boys. You've got to keep representing your teams. And Baz is saying, I only sleep between your streams. Oh, bless you. So then, let's have a look at the grid, shall we? I think we've done the table. I'll tell you, that felt really smooth and fast, and that's not like me. So when I quality listen back, I'm sure it'll probably sound like a right mess. And I thought, no, I did that way too rushed or something. I don't know. Let me have a little sip of my coffee, sorry. A little treat for doing so well with the tables. Now I'm slowing it back down again. Right then, the table. We're going to try and do this rear to front. That's what she said. Oh, God, my glasses have got all wrapped up in my microphone. I'm having a mare here. One glasses won't go be on my ear roll because the microphone's in the way. Here we go then. So we're going to do the grid, but we're going to go reverse, and I've written it the other way. I don't know why I do that. It's fun, I guess. So in 13th place we have Grahamad Ali, and he had his highest finish last round. with 11th place, and he'll be looking to emulate that today and hope that some people have some mares around the mountain. In 12th place, we have Kenny. From missing the first 4 rounds, he was back, got an 8th and a 10th. And he'll be wanting to build on that from 12th place, I tell thee. That's the Iron Force team, and that was the F1 Benetton team. In 11th, we have Fitzy, a winner from last round, representing a Martini, and he is sitting in 11th at the moment. In 10th, Dergview for Liquor Molly, and he missed a last round, so he'll be wanting to come back and make a absolute dent in his championship so far. Is this racist? Is that racist? Potato! That was racist. Sorry, Dirk. In 9th, Agent Smith. What has happened to his season? He is taking an absolute nosedive, I would say. Although 2/5 are last round, it's the qualifying is not where I imagine he would want to be sat in 9th place when he has championship aspirations, ladies and gentlemen. Neil Farmack returns after only showing up in round 1, but showing well in round 1. So Neil Farmack, getting close to relegation, thinks, nope, I can do enough to stay up this season, so has returned to score points. 7th, Callum, still getting used to the wheel, but he's a lot higher than we have seen him of recent weeks, except for on his birthday party. We saw him very high. Then we have 6th, Unforgiven, climbing up the grid. Look at this man go. Had a bit of an iffy race, the second race at Monza, but he's shaken that off now. He's put it behind him, and he is ready, ladies and gentlemen, primed and ready for a podium. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't seen any results. I'm as surprised with the turnout of the racers as they turn out, if that makes sense. I spoke before I thought. In 5th place, Toten. Absolutely holding strong. His second half of this season is stronger than how he started, and he really has got into the groove with these Nissans, and he is starting to put the frighteners up some of the big boys. So Toten sitting in 5th place. In 4th, we have Victor getting very, very accustomed to the podium. He's enjoying it quite a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 so far this season. And he's looking to add more. And from 4th place, you only need one person to drop the ball ahead of you. And let's face it, around Mount Panorama, there is always drama with the Informer. In 3rd place, we have Grasshopper. I don't know if he's qualified this high before. I should have checked on my stats. But Grasshopper, giddy heights of 3rd on the grid. An absolute cracking qualifying from Grasshopper. His highest finish this season is 5th, and he's done that 4 times. So starting from 3rd, ladies and gentlemen, will Grasshopper begin the taste of his first podium? All to watch. Then in 2nd place, we have Brisbane. And Brisbane, last time out, no win. And he's not had a win for the last 2 rounds, ladies and gentlemen. He will not be happy about that. So Brisbane will be on point. And it looks like there's, if that is who I think it is ahead, doesn't look like we've got a Bailey today. So Brisbane will be wanting to make up huge points while Bailey is away, as will Toby, whom is on pole. And he needed he didn't need me to tell you who he is. You should know by now. When it's grey and a luminous yellow, Toby is in the house. So that is our lineup here for round 6 of the GRSC the Group Racing Sunday Championship for the Ultimate Racing League, and we are following the League of Champions. Are you ready? Then I shall begin. The tutors are going, and they're going to go now. Oh, it's unfortunate for some people further back, starting on the corner. I don't know if we'll recognise the gap. There's the gap between 6th and 7th. Looks like that was where the corner started on the rolling start, but so far, everyone... Oh, someone's looking a little racy there. Fitzy looking racy on Derg. Whilst Grahamad Ali checks out that rear dairy air. And Brisbane then getting ever closer, trying to get the toe up the hill here at Bathurst, and Grasshopper staying with the leaders. But Brisbane really is piling on the pressure here in the early breaks of dawn. The sun just creeping out. We still have some dark from the night before, and Brisbane then looked like he had a little tap on the wall and has lost a little ground there to Toby. How's that looking for Grasshopper? Grasshopper not close enough to make a decisive move as Victor follows them through as well. Toten and Unforgiven. Unforgiven looking very racy in Toten's rearview mirrors, and I think Unforgiven fancying a go here, and he's being pushed along by Kaloum. Neil Farmack, 8th place. He's checking out the action ahead, and they're all just dubiously going through the dipper and surviving. Beautiful stuff by everyone here so far, and usually there we'll see a car facing the wrong way, but it seems everyone has made the effort and got through first time. Let's see if we can do it another 13 times, my friends. So far then, Toby stretching out a lead from Brisbane. There's nothing Brisbane can do about it, and Grasshopper has picked up a toe from Brisbane, and now Grasshopper is becoming a real problem for Brisbane. What will Brisbane do? But behind Brisbane, Grasshopper cannot lift off whatsoever because he's got Victor. Oh, no. Grasshopper, he looked like it. No, it must have been Victor gone a little wide there, but he survived. It was all right, part of the plan. Look away. There is nothing to see here, ladies and gents. Callum then still has that gap from the rolling start between himself and Unforgiven, and Unforgiven is really trying to climb all over the back of Toten, and Toten is feeling the pressure. Neil Farmack, he's keeping a very close eye on Callum there at the moment. He's in 8th place, and he's being chased by Agent Smith, who is not used to or accustomed to being in 9th place. Do these people not know who he is? Have they not got the memo? So Smith then down in 9th place. Shocking. Fitzy, last time winner, is there in 10th, trying to chase down the guys ahead, with Kenny D in 11th, Derg keeping a close eye on him in 12th, and Grahamad Ali not too far behind as well. Racing is on, ladies and gents. Toby is absolutely pelting it. He's going, he's disappearing. He does not want to race today. He is not playing games. This is not a time for fanny arsing about. It's time to get down, get serious. We're into the second half of the championship. Toby is leading this championship, and he wants to carry on leading it, and this race is a decisive time to put down his foot and say double win tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Brisbane, though, he has something to say about it, but he has a gap that says the other betwixt himself and Toby, and he'll be hoping Toby pushes too hard, too fast into some of these tighter corners, with Grasshopper not yielding, ladies and gentlemen. Victor slipped back a little bit, and Toten knows it, and Unforgiven slipping back from Toten, so Toten now can put all his concentrations on Signore Victor, the Red Bull ahead of him. And here he's having a look, ladies and gents, around the outside. Victor tries to come out, closing the door on Toten, and Toten, I think, polite, backing out there. Could have kept his nose in there and become quite a hassle for Victor, making him take the shorter way around the corner, the tighter corner. But no, he thought, this is not the place. This is not the hill I am going to die on, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to go round again. I'm going to get a toe, and I'm going to overtake him in a more conventional place. So Toten then really is keeping an eye on the back of that Red Bull, and oh, a little squirrel there from Toten. Does that help Unforgiven? It does. It looks like Unforgiven starting to close back up on Toten, and Toten is being hampered by Victor ahead of him. I think it's not. He's backing him into Unforgiven, and this is not a place where Toten wants to be. It's an uncomfortable position between the two Nissans. Grasshopper, meanwhile, is losing touch of Brisbane, who is scurrying away and getting purples as he chases down Toby, who is absolutely flying. He's on another level. He's in another universe. He was the fastest man around on lap 2 with a 2:01.8. Brisbane doing a 2:02.2. And that's the difference between these two, ladies and gentlemen. Brisbane's lost the back end. He's lost the back end. Oh, my word. And Brisbane bins it. Forrest elbow, and Victor's through, Unforgiven's through, Callum looks like he's through, Neil Farmack, Smith, Fitzy, Kenny, Derg, Toten, and Brisbane then gets going with lots of damage, and Muhammad Ali also slipping one by, and poor Brisbane. It's the curse of Bathurst, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing can be done about it. Toby then, that takes the pressure off totally, with Grasshopper now in second place, but Victor closing right in to put the pressure on, and Grasshopper knows he was pulling away from Victor earlier. He needs to take deep breaths. He needs to take calmness. He needs to surround himself with fluffy thoughts and just stay totally calm. Because he can pull away from Victor, he is faster than Victor. But at the moment, Victor is putting on the pressure, and that could flummox Grasshopper right now. Second place in his fingertips, ladies and gentlemen. He has a dubious hold, a baby hold of the second place, but Victor has another word about that. For Unforgiven up to fourth, Callum. So Neil, who was it that he was chasing? It wasn't Smith, was it? Toten. Oh no, Toten. Oh, sorry, dude. Wow. He was back there with, he must have gone, oh God, ages ago. Sorry, gang. Toten, oh no, it looks like there's a couple of cars was involved in that one. So we've gone back virtually a lap. Toten then, who was so busy watching Brisbane, the Toten right under the pressure of Unforgiven. Oh, just goes a little wider. Oh, and then gets caught up by a barrier. That is not what you need. And here we go. Brisbane, he crashed not. It was a double NASCAR crash, because Brisbane, that was when he crashed as well. Oh, what an unfortunate one for the the NASCAR team. As we watch Brisbane's pain twice, I'm sure he didn't wait in like that was a Toten replay. Why are you watching me again? Sorry, Brisbane. So yeah, Toten exactly the same time as Brisbane, just before Brisbane. The NASCARs blew their load all over the track. And Unforgiven then in fourth place now. Victor ahead. Could this be another podium on the cards for Unforgiven? He's got to dig deep. He's got to find some hella big time to try and put pressure on the two ahead of him. Callum absolutely having a cracking race. He's up and into fifth place now, and everything is looking tidy. Neil Farmack in sixth. What a comeback from him as well, with Smith now up to seventh, gaining 2 positions as we go along. Fitzy in eighth. Kenny D is in ninth. Derg in 10th. Toten we saw slipping down into 11th. Muhammad Ali is in 12th, but he is being caught quite swiftly by the Brisbane. We ain't messing now, I bet. This is it now. Beware all of those on track, because Brisbane has a fire in his belly, and there is nothing that can quash them flames, ladies and gents, except for podiums, champagne. Toby meanwhile getting away with the fastest lap last time out. Grasshopper still under pressure from Victor. Victor will not yield. Sitting alongside Victor for the ride then, as we chase down Grasshopper. Lap 4 of 13. Unforgiven just behind us. We're getting a tow And this is the problem for Grasshopper. This is why he's unable to shake off Senor Victor, who is now having a look around the outside. He's half on the grass, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, the toe is strong as they go through the chase, and they're braking hard, and Victor has made the move. Unbelievable. Now Grasshopper has to stay right up his chuff to try and get that toe back, but it's virtually half a lap away. Unforgiven loving this, and he's dropped Callum as well now, who's fallen back into Neil Farmack's hands, and Agent Smith is on scene to take a statement. And so Neil there having to be defensive with the Smith all up and in his business, and we've seen it look bleak for Smith before, and he has come back, and there is still plenty of laps for him to smash it. Fitzy in 8th place with Kenny D in 9th, Derg in 10th. Derg a 202.6 last time out, 202.8 for Kenny. So Kenny's going to feel a bit of pressure pretty soon from the Dergmeister. Toten in 11th and Brisbane in 12th. The casualties of Panorama. And Grahamad Ali seems comfortable, sitting in 13th, and Brisbane again going wide. This is not a choice track for the Brisbane. He is not getting the points in. Toby, meanwhile, is absolutely obliterating Bathurst. He has faced the mountain. He has raged. He has shaken his fist, and he says, I shall tame you. And that is what he's doing. Victor in 2nd, Grasshopper in 3rd. He's lost track. He's not going to get the toe down here. Oh my geez. Victor is now gone into beast mode. Victor not playing. This is no sim. This is real. And Victor is concentrating very hard. This man, it was dubious, you know, when he went up, it was like he was fighting to get into that promotion area from League One last season, and I did wonder, he was a wonderment to me, whether or not he would stay up in the League of Champions, and my good golly gosh, ladies and gentlemen, has he proven me wrong. I am pleased to say, Victor has come out like a phoenix from the flames, and he has lit the League of Champions on fire. Grasshopper under pressure. Unforgiven was having a look then, and Unforgiven in the toe zone, and he's going to be wanting to get a good jump on Grasshopper because he's had a podium this season. Another one would look mighty fine on his mantelpiece, I tell you. Meanwhile, Callum under pressure from Neil Farmack. Neil Farmack is throwing everything he's got at the back of the Iron Force car. Oh, someone just hit a wall hard. Hit a wall hard, ladies and gentlemen. It was Callum and... oh, Callum's having a bad one as well. So let's have a look. Neil and Callum. Oh, I've missed it again. Let's get on board. So Neil Farmack, can we get behind? Ah, yeah, bugger. Come on. Up into the braking zone. All's good. No, I don't think there was a touch. It was just a synchronized spin, that one. I don't believe that. I don't think there was contact. I really don't. I think they just both went so fast through the corner that sorry, Neil. No one wants to watch you struggle. He's waiting for the cars to go by. So, and he's waiting for Grahamad Ali, another position for Grahamad Ali there. He likes it when that happens. Toby then absolutely plundering this track into another universe. Victor in 2nd, Grasshopper can't live with the Victor's times. 203.8 from Grasshopper last time, and Victor a 202.1. Unforgiven at 202.9, and Grasshopper's got to wake up, ladies and gentlemen. He's got to snap out of this. He's got to get back into the zone. He's fallen out of the zone, and now Victor's got by, and Unforgiven is queuing up. He's in the toe, ladies and gentlemen, alongside the master that is Unforgiven, trying to get a toe, coming down the straight. He's just too far behind. He can't pick up a toe from that far back, I don't believe. Maybe a little one, but nothing major as they break into the chase. And Grasshopper survives that straight one more time. Further back then, Smith's up to 5th. Smith's up to 5th. Fitzy, Kenny, what? Dirk? Who's fallen? Oh yeah, we saw Callum and Neil Farmack. Sorry, we actually knew that as well, but I didn't realise it had moved Smith up so far. So Smith back up and into 5th place, where he is comfortablest, and Fitzy now in 6th. This is more like the positions that they are used to being in. Kenny D is in 7th with Derg in 8th. Derg a 2:02.4 last time out, chasing down Kenny D, who did a 2:02.8. It's so close here. The Liquor Molly driver is really starting to raise the pressure, moving up to 8th. Remember, he qualified in 10th place, so 2 places made for Derg at the moment, and he would love that 7th spot as well. But Kenny D at the moment more than enough for Derg to be able to climb up onto. Toten then in 9th, Callum closing in 10th, the survivors. Brisbane down here in 11th, Grahamad Ali in 12th, and Neil Farmack in 13th. Not the return he was hoping for. He was riding so high and so well, having such a good battle with Callum. And then the car's gravity just gave up on him and Callum at the same time. Toby leads this race, smashing out the fastest laps every time he goes around, and he's gone into the 2 minutes, ladies and gents. A 2-minute point 9. Absolute fast as hell. Victor a 2:02.6, but he's pacing himself, I believe, ladies and gentlemen. There's no need to push when you've got a space behind. Grasshopper is getting a cue now. Smith has caught these guys up. Smith is bringing it to their door. Smith is now come alive, ladies and gentlemen. This is what he does. He qualifies badly. He sits around at the back of the pack, and then when he decides, unforgiven, kicking up dust, he survives. It's okay. Let's not panic. And Smith, though, is starting to really get a divisive friction going on here in this battle for the podium. And Unforgiven, he's starting to feel it, because first of all, he was putting the pressure on Grasshopper. It was Grasshopper that was having to deal with it all, and that does slow you down, ladies and gentlemen. Going out that wide would normally slow you down, but Grasshopper, it's unaffected. I'm surprised he got away with that. He must have lifted coast. He must have lifted and coasted. But Unforgiven has to keep applying that pressure, cannot take a breather for a second. And this is great for Victor, just slowly pulling away from this pack. Grasshopper, 2:03.5 last time around, a 2:03.6. They're nearly a second slower than Victor. That is the cost of being in the battle. And Kenny D, Fitzy and Derg are all coming to join them. They've got to pick up the pace. Grasshopper, he needs to start absolutely acing some of these laps. He's got to emulate that qualifying lap he did to get third on the grid. Still sat in third though. Everything's good, but he is getting a queue of cars behind him, and he is starting to make me feel rather panicked for him that these cars are not going to be as polite as Unforgiven. Smith though, 2:02.4 from him. Kenny D at 2:02.3, so they are all catching each other. Fitzy at 2:02.5. Oh no, a 2:04.5 from Fitzy. He had an absolute plunderous lap. Did Kenny D get ahead of Fitzy? I think he did, you know. So Kenny D making the moves. He's got up to 6th place. Sorry about that, I missed it. Fitzy having a slow lap, 2 seconds slower than his usual. And Derg fancying a piece of that action. Toten in 9th, playing catch-up, doing a 2:01.9, which is painful. It's faster than everyone from second down. Callum in 10th, still ahead of Brisbane. Brisbane's got a bit of a way to catch him, but Brisbane's pace is good. With Grahamad Ali in 11th, Neil Farmack trying to close in, a 2:02.9 from Neil Farmack last time out, and Grahamad Ali a 2:05.2. He really isn't finding the pace here at the Bathurst. Toby, meanwhile, he's just cruising. I think now he's doing a 2:01.7 and a 2:01.1. So that's cruising for him. 2-3 off his fastest lap. He's playing dare with the walls. Absolutely planting that Nissan everywhere it needs to be. We're on lap 9 of 13. Oh, Unforgiven's gotten by. Oh my, I bet he did it ages ago. Here we go. With the toe. Oh no. The toe has not been Grasshopper's friend this evening. And Unforgiven, a lovely clean move. And can Unforgiven get another podium position under his belt? Grasshopper then smelling the exhaust pipe. And Smith has seen the way. Smith fancies this. And Grasshopper at the moment bending over, ladies and gentlemen. It has to be said. He's lost the pace that he showed. Oh, he did a 2:02.4 though that time around. So unfortunate. Oh, a bang with the wall is never helpful. But I think Smith did similar. So although Smith just closing, coming through the dipper. Oh, it's so scary seeing these walls either side of you, just trying to thread this needle. Oh, and there we go. Grasshopper loses the back end. But maintains position ahead of Kenny D. But Grasshopper is in free fall at the moment. Unforgiven has a gap up until 4th place, so his third is looking rather handy. Victor is not making mistakes today, and Victor is looking absolutely bang on for 2nd place, with Toby just annihilating all that has come towards him. Smith then ahead of Grasshopper, but Grasshopper very close behind. Grasshopper fancies this as Kenny D is taking a good close look at the racing ahead of him. Kenny D in 6th place, watching Grasshopper and Smith fight over 5th and 4th place. And I tell you what, Kenny D is in this fight. He is closed right in. And the battle for 4th extends all the way down to 6th, maybe 7th, because I can see Fitzy in the distance in the mirror. And, you know, things may look smaller. And here we go. Grasshopper looks like he wants that position back from Sir Smith. And they're looking very tight as they go through, but it's Smith that stays ahead of Grasshopper. But very nice try, but from the hopper of grass. And Kenny D keeping a very close eye on what goes on ahead. Vital to his race. Unforgiven, meanwhile, 2:02.3. He's got no, and a 2:01.7 from Victor, so Unforgiven unlikely to catch up Victor, but Victor could push himself too far in this race with 4 laps to go. 3 laps and this lap to go. Smith then up ahead of Grasshopper. Smith's had an absolute turnaround of a race, it has to be said, as Grasshopper dropping a couple of positions, and Kenny D is lining him up as well. He fancies it. And Fitzy not far in the distance, with Derg as well in this fight, and Toten catching up. Toten with a 2:02.3 last time out. And fuel and tyres, no issues whatsoever. Well into this race now. Coming closer to the end than we are at the beginning, and the tyres are looking absolutely fabulous. Callum in 10th place, not where he would have liked to have been. He was running quite high earlier in the race. Good points for a season where he hasn't come across too many points. And Brisbane, slowly but surely, but Brisbane's dropped off the pace the last couple of laps. Also, Neil Farmack has got past Grahamad Ali, and Neil Farmack up to the 2:01.7. He's absolutely putting a last spurt in, but there is no one he's going to be able to catch. And Grahamad Ali at 2:07.9. Toby, meanwhile, absolutely slamming those lap times. Mr. Consistent 2:01s. He's taking rests, 2:01, early 2:01s or mid 2:01s. Victor, second place in his sights. He's had a second place before, I believe. Let me get me glasses, check my stat board. Yeah, last round, sorry, he had a second and a third. Is he going to try and do a double podium again for this one? Victor suddenly throwing his hat in the championship fight, it would seem. Unforgiven getting his second podium of the season, but it's been a few rounds. I think it was the second round that he got his podium, so it's been a long time coming, and he will be happy about that if he doesn't throw it away. Smith and Grasshopper. He's not fallen away from Smith since dropping behind, but Kenny D has been getting closer. But again, these guys have dropped into the 203s when you know they can do 202s. And Fitzy, a 203.1 from him last time. And Dirk is under pressure now because Toten's caught him up. He's got the toe, and Toten trying to get a consolation prize here of Dirk. I'm afraid. I'm sorry, you're the consolation prize. But Toten then goes through and grabs that position. 8th place for Toten. There's still a couple of laps left. With this pace, Toten could catch that little gaggle of cars ahead of him. 1-2 watch. Dirk then slipping down and into 9th place, with Callum holding place in 10th. Brisbane unable to catch him, but Brisbane's back into the 201s now. He's getting into the groove again. Neil Farmack pushing hard, 201s consistently. And Grahamad Ali, he's going slower. He's chilling. He's chillaxing. He's got a little Billy Ocean on in his car as he's driving around, elbow out the window, checking out Oz, looking for kangaroos and UFOs. So Toby then slamming. He is absolutely slamming, ladies and gents. He's not playing around. And he's coming away from this with pole, the wins, the fastest laps. Toby wants to have it all. Victor, great second place, and like I said, putting a big dent into the championship. He's already up to 4th in the championship. With no Bailey, that is going to really put the cat amongst the pigeons. The rooster in the hen house, if you know what I mean. Unforgiven in 3rd place with a nice gap to Smith, but Smith does look to be closing it down. He's pulled away from Grasshopper. Now Grasshopper has become Kenny D's problem, or Kenny D has now become Grasshopper's problem. But Grasshopper does look like he's far enough ahead. He looks far enough ahead to me for the 1.5 laps that we have remaining. And Kenny D will have to do something rather spectacular if he wants that 5th place. Fitzy in 7th, with Toten now up and into 8th. 202.3 from Toten. Fitzy a 203.5, so Toten is over a second faster than the guys ahead of him. Can he close in and get them on the final lap? He may not have enough laps left in this race. Dirk in 9th, ahead of Callum in 10th, with Brisbane in 11th. And Brisbane's season is really up and down, ladies and gentlemen, proper up and down. Neil Farmack in 12th, with Grahamad Ali in 13th. So Toby starting his final lap. Oh, Kenny D's passed Grasshopper already. Heaven's sakes. So, oh yeah, it was done down there. Oh God. Missed it. So Grasshopper, he looks like he might have deep braked into Murray's corner. Yeah, very deep there, and that gave Kenny D the opportunity to get up and into 5th place, and Grasshopper slipping down and into 6th on the final lap. Fitzy fancies a piece of this. He can tell there's a broken man out there, giving away positions. Toten in 8th, faster than all of those ahead of him. Dirk in 9th, way ahead of Callum. I don't think Callum's going to be able to make any kind of impact to Dirk in this race. Brisbane in 11th. Neil Farmack 12th, Grahamad Ali in 13th. But it's Toby at the moment. Looks like a dead certain win, with Victor following him in 2nd place. And Unforgiven looking solid for that 3rd. As we're on the final lap, They'd have to do something absolutely ridiculous. Smith in 4th, pulled away from Kenny D now, so Smith looking pretty safe in that 4th place with Kenny D in 5th. And I tell you what, qualifying 12th up to 5th, that is something. That is something. Fitzy in 6th. And he is closing him down. Grasshopper slipping down into 7th even further now, with Toten smelling blood. Toten on an absolute roar at the moment, with Derg in 9th, Callum in 10th, Brisbane in 11th, Neil Farmack in 12th, and Grahamad Ali in 13th position. But it's Toby takes the win. Oh God, sorry, that was too soon. Hang on. Sorry about that. I've been all over the place. I don't usually skip back this much. But so Toby comes around the final corner, and it's been a pole to flag with the fastest lap. Great drive from Toby. Absolutely destroyed it all. And Victor coming out in 2nd place. Who would have thunk it? Great drive from Signore Victor. Well done, my friend. And Unforgiven, it's the podium is his, ladies and gentlemen. He got the podium in the end. Smith brings it home in 4th, just ahead of Kenny D in 5th, Fitzy in 6th, Grasshopper 7th, Toten 8th, Derg got 9th, Callum got 10th. My gosh, they were all quite close, weren't they? Brisbane comes home in 11th spot. Poor Brisbane, the back end of his car must be wobbly. And Neil Farmack in 12th. Ahead of Grahamad Ali, bringing it home for 13th. What an absolute cracker of a race, ladies and gentlemen, we have just witnessed there. And for the second race, they'll be reversing the grids and getting on with the second race. So Toby extends that championship lead with the fastest lap. And I don't know if they get points for pole either, I'm not sure. But pole, fastest lap, and the win. Super stuffs. Victor, the surprise of the season, getting another 2nd place like he did last round. Fantastic stuff. Unforgiven coming home in 3rd, a 2nd podium this season for him, and that is going to be a huge influx of points in the table, and just at the right time as we go into the second half of the season. Smith, I say second, yeah, because I think it's 10 rounds. They're just not showing the last round, which we all know it's going to be Nordschleife. So I don't know why they're keeping it a secret. Smith in 4th, with Kenny D bringing it home in 5th spot. 6th for Fitzy, which starting 11th. That's another good race. Grasshopper in 7th. I imagine he will not be impressed after starting 3rd on the grid. Toten in 8th. And what a fight back. But after qualifying 5th, he would imagine that he could have had a podium today. Derg in 9th. Callum in 10th, which is unfortunate. Callum after qualifying 7th. But he did have that strange synchronised spin with Neil Farmack. And Brisbane in 11th. We saw him having a kind of synchronised spin with his teammate Toten. 2 corners apart. And Neil Farmack, like I said, finished in 12th after that strange thing with Callum. And Grahamad Ali finished in 13th. And he still might not get relegated. Well, I don't know now. With Neil Farmack and Callum, all the guys that weren't scoring points underneath Grahamad Ali are all back and scoring points. So Grahamad Ali, he might have to start worrying about relegations. Wow, either I've drunk my coffee really quick or I am going slow with this stream. So Toby took the win. Shall we go on to race 2? Because I've never drunk my coffee before halfway. Was that like a 45-minute stream for a 20-minute race? Although it was a 27-minute race in all fairness. Jesus, they did 1 lap too many, didn't they? That should be a 12-lap race, not a 13-lap race. And yeah, let's get on, because that was like an endurance race, ladies and gents. So this one is early evening, and they're going to be using the mediums and the hard tyre. And they have to use at least one compound for a minimum of 2 laps, which is usually the hard tyre. And in the Nissans, they've been using them a bit longer than 2 laps. Like in the lower groups with the Group 4 cars, which tyre wear really isn't a thing, we've just been doing the basic 2 laps in and get the mediums on. So, yeah, don't look at the cheat. So, yeah, with this one, they've had to... They have to make their hards last a bit longer. More strategic in the Nissans, I've got to say. So we'll have a quick look on who is starting on what tyre and where they are starting. It's usually whoever finished in 9th starts on pole, and Derg finished in 9th. So, yes. So, Derg... Oh, God, get rid of that. Dergview starting in 9th, and he is opting for the medium tyre. Callum starts 2nd, and he is opting for the hard tyre. So, Brisbane starting 3rd. He's going for a medium tyre also. Neil Farmack starting on the hard tyre in 4th. Grahamad Ali starting 5th, and he has decided to go for a medium compound tyre. Toten in 6th, and he has hards on. Grasshopper is 7th, and he is wearing a set of mediums this season. Fitzy in 8th, and he starts 8th, and he is starting on a hard set of tyres. Kenny D starts 9th, and he is opting for a hard set of tyres. Smith starting in 10th with a hard set of tyres. Unforgiven in 11th also, with a raging hard-on. Then Victor in 12th, he's also got the hards on. And Toby starting in 13th, and I can also see that he has hards on. Okay then, no more delay, because I think that took me so long to get through that. I apologise to all those poor souls out there that just thought, oh, I'll watch a 20-minute race. It was 27 minutes race, by the way. But yeah, there's no excuse. It's taken way too long. I apologise. And I'm still nattering without watching anything while I fanny ass around with my glasses. Let me have a sip. Let me have a sip of my dubby. Oh yeah, now I'm raring to go. So Dirk leads them away in his Nissan, a set of medium tyres, Callum on the hard, so he'll be hoping to just absolutely bang it. And the lights have gone out. They have started again. We'll look for the corner gap. That might be it. No, that's the gap, innit? Between Smith and... I don't know where the gap is. I think it is Smith and Kenny D. Or Kenny D. No, Kenny D and Fitzy is when they started on the first corner. So Callum is under threat from Brisbane, who also started on those mediums. Brisbane does not want to hang around and mess about with Callum. This is where Callum spun out last time, and his best mate Neil Farmack is behind him. Neil Farmack also with that hard compound on, and Toten also with the hard compound. Graham Ali with the mediums. He'll be wanting to make headway, and so will Grasshopper, as Brisbane makes his way through the world today. And Derg, he's just gonna have to. Derg has been he's had a lot of pressure this round, and he's always had someone chasing him down in one of those red and blue bloody cars. He's probably sick of seeing the red and blue car in his mirrors. So Brisbane then on it like a car bonnet as Derg tries to defend, and Brisbane playing with the walls. here at Australia, and you don't want to do that down this bit because they can have a habit of bouncing you out and around. Callum at the moment threading that needle on the hard tyres, dancing on ice. Neil Farmack right behind him with Toten also on the hard tyre. Then we've got Grasshopper on the mediums, who slipped back a little bit, it seems, with Fitzy in 7th on the hards. Kenny D on the hards, with Muhammad Ali now slipping down past Smith. Smith's got through on the hards. Muhammad Ali on those medium tyres. Toby and Unforgiven, teammates together, look glorious when the cars meet each other on track. Someone's had a mistake. I think it may have been, who? Smith, it was Smith. Oh my word. Oh, sorry, Smith, not enough. So yeah, we saw Smith trying to get past Muhammad Ali there, and did he just, no, he did, he braked a little too late, I believe, did he not? Yeah, he just asked the Nissan to slow down too late a speed and just missed the corner, and now he's had to dance around on the grass, mow a little lawn, and tuck in behind Victor, who's on the hard tyres. It's all right, Smith's on the hard tyres. He has calculated these losses. It's still okay. It's salvageable. Derg then is still under pressure from one of the NASCAR drivers. And Derg, I don't know how much he can take the pressure. Captain. Brisbane having a look. He's going for it up the inside, under braking 2 by 2, and oh, they're both in the wall and they're both into each other, and my word, that was sloppy and it was not pretty whatsoever, but the job is done. Even with the damage Brisbane's picked up, and Derg there, but behind Callum, under pressure from Neil Farmack. Neil Farmack trying to do it right this time. I don't think he hit him actually last time. I don't know why I say he's trying to do it right this time. I don't think there was contact. I think they just both spun out under extraordinary circumstances. But at the moment, Callum and Neil both in a replay of the first race. Neil tucked right underneath Callum's spoiler. And we've got Toten in the shout as well. These guys are all running the hard compound. Derg on the mediums with Brisbane on the mediums also. Brisbane absolutely bolting. He does not want to be hanging around. Callum in 3rd, Neil Farmack in 4th, Toten in 5th, Grasshopper in 6th place on those medium tyres. They'll be starting to get right in the zone now, and he could close in on these hard running tyres that are really in the battle. Neil Farmack makes the move. Neil Farmack makes the move, and he seals it with an absolute banger. And Neil Farmack then up and into a podium position. Callum goes into the pits to get rid of those hard tyres as Grasshopper is moving up and into 5th place. As well, the whole field moving up then. Callum, the first one to make a pit stop at the end of lap 2. He fancies that the mediums can go all of the way, but can the fuel? Brisbane at the moment leads this race ahead of Derg, with Neil Farmack in 3rd, Toten in 4th, Grasshopper is 5th with Fitzy in 6th. Toby is up into 7th already. Toby's had an absolute banger ahead of Kenny D in 8th. Unforgiven in 9th has been following him through. Victor in 10th, Smith in 11th, Muhammad Ali in 12th, and Callum back out the pits with a lovely set of medium tyres on and chasing the pack. Well, they're chasing the pack. He's going to see how this all shakes out at the end of the pit stops. Brisbane, mediums. Derg, mediums. There's no need for them to pit for a while yet. Neil Farmack is on the hards, as is Toten. Grasshopper on the mediums, closing in at 2:05.3 last time out. Toten at 2:05.7, but he's getting some good lap times now, and a 2:05.5 from Neil Farmack. So Grasshopper, how fast can he go on those medium tyres? He's closing in every corner, you can see with your very own eyes. The Grasshopper has a advantage with grip on those medium tyres, and Toten now is I don't know what you can do down here with the toe. Although it looks like Neil Grasshopper just not getting the toe close enough to make the move before the corner. He's going to have to wait. But he might have the grip to go around the outside of Toten. But at the moment, Toten doing all he can to keep that Nissan on the road. No one opts to pit so far this time round. Callum, the only guy on the hard tyres that was brave enough to make a pit stop at the earliest time he possibly could. And Grasshopper on the medium tyres. The tyres are alive now. He is absolutely grippy as hell, but he's got a Toby? No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. He hasn't got a Toby up his butt ski. So Grasshopper then in 5th place, looking very intently at Toten. They've got Neil Farmack just ahead of him. He's also on the hard tyres. Derg, 203.9 at the medium tyres, guys. 203.8 there from Dirge. So Grasshopper, 203.5. Yes, you can see he's almost 2 seconds faster than the hard, well, yeah, nearly 2 seconds faster than the hard running tyres. He cannot get stuck behind Toten for too long. He needs to make hay as Toten slides through the corner. Absolutely delicious driving there from Toten as Grasshopper applies a little bit of pressure as they go through here. Grip is king, and Neil Farmack has Grasshopper, sorry, has a ton of it. He's Neil Farmack's teammate, that's why. Look, I'm just saying it's the car. And Grasshopper then just wants to get himself past that Toten. He's going to have to wait for after this corner, and then try and get him in the toe down the straight. He'll get a better drive out of the corner, and then he'll be absolutely bringing the noise to the rear derriere of the NASCAR team, and trying to get himself up and ahead of Toten. Toten, remember, still on the hard tyre. Grasshopper is on the medium tyres and has the fastest lap of the race so far, which surprises me with Brisbane out in front. But the toe does make all the difference. Neil Farmack in 3rd place, doing an absolutely stellar job. Will he come in? He has come in. Neil Farmack has decided that's enough, and so has Toten. Toby also deciding that's enough for these hard tyres, baby. Unforgiven into the pit lane also. All of the hard runners are deciding this is the time. Victor in as well, with Smith following his teammate in, and Callum already making that stop 2 laps ago. His tyres are in the plush zone. Comes through. Absolutely delicious. How many is he going to jump, ladies and gentlemen? He's got past Smith. He's jumped all of them. But it's not the pit exit yet. Muhammad Ali following him through, and Neil Farmack makes it out. Callum is up, and he's behind Neil Farmack. Neil Farmack is one. He got the overcut because he stayed out a little bit longer. How surprising. He was behind Callum, if you remember, before the pit stops. And Neil Farmack managing to stay ahead of Callum, which is a real surprise. Ooh, looks like Callum's outlap was not pretty. Grasshopper then, he's still on those mediums. Derg is on the mediums, chasing down Brisbane. I don't think Brisbane's pushing as hard. I think after that first race and the nightmare that Brisbane had, he's just getting the job done. He's not putting any thrills. There's no showboating. It's just get the job done. Just a nice, consistent pace and keep on going. Grasshopper then in 3rd. Neil Farmack is in 4th ahead of Callum, but Callum's tyres are nicely bedded in. And Neil Farmack having to get his tyres up to temperature as soon as he possibly can. Then we have Toten in the mix as well in 6th. Muhammad Ali up to 7th, but he has not pitted yet and will not need to pit for a short while yet. Toby out of the pits. He wants to get past Muhammad Ali as quickly as he possibly can. And he's looking now down through the chase. And the job looks done. So Toby up and into 7th place and puts a buffer, and oh my gosh, Fitzy was not playing, ladies and gentlemen. Fitzy just absolutely slung it. into that corner, and Muhammad Ali is lucky he had his awares about him, and Muhammad Ali is going in for some hard tyres early doors. And Kenny D then in ninth. So Fitzy, a cracking move from Fitzy there on Muhammad Ali, it has to be said. Toby in seventh. And these guys he's got to overtake. Totem, he's got to overtake Callum. He's got to overtake Neil Farmack. He's got to take, well, Grasshopper does have to make a pit stop. So there still might be a chance to jump Grasshopper. And Derg also having to make a pit stop, and Derg having an absolute solid race. Can Derg pull off a podium? He's not yet had one this season, but we know he has the pace to have one. So I'm checking that. Yeah, the highest finish we've had from Derg so far this season is 7th place, and we know that is not what his speed is. Brisbane again, going tentatively around. He lost a bit of time that last lap around. Dergview keeping in sight of the leader, Grasshopper, still with that fastest lap under his belt. Neil Farmack at the moment having the best race, with Callum under pressure from Toten. Toten absolutely laying it on Callum. He knows Callum's still adjusting to the steering wheel, going from the gamepad to a steering wheel, and Toten feels if he can put a bit of pressure on Callum, he could get by, and he knows that Toby is chasing him down. We can't see him in the rearview mirrors, so it's not a concern to worry about just yet. Let's just concentrate on Callum for now, is the thoughts in Toten's head. Oh, that was lovely from Toten, really pulled a bit of time on Callum. Callum must have made a mistake going through that corner side by side, and Callum just about stays ahead, but Toten knows. Toten knows and Callum knows. It's a matter of time. Toten has driven, except for the one small mistake, Toten has absolutely driven out of his skin this round, and he's just made the move up and into 5th place. But Callum getting a lovely toe, and Callum having a little look up the outside into the braking zone. It's gonna be anyone's business, but it's Toten at the end that pulls forward, and Callum absolutely had a cracking go there, and Toby has now caught these dueling banjos up. So Toby in 7th place with Callum in 6th. I think Callum had a little dish with the wall then. He had a little tap on the wall. So Toby will be looking for a way by him any time soon. Fitzy in 8th, but he's got Kenny D for company. Unforgiven in 10th. And the race, he's waiting for the pit stops to all wash out, but it's not looking like he's going to grab a lot of positions here, I don't think. Kenny D started on the hard tyres, so he's made his pit stop. I think everyone has made their pit stops except for the original medium runners. Smith down in 12th. That is not great for Smith. And Muhammad Ali in 13th. He's made an early pit stop and gone to that hard tyre pretty early. Brisbane at the moment doing what needs to be done to stay out front. Derg is never too far behind him. This is a great race for Derg and a great opportunity for a podium. We're on lap 8 of 13, so 5 more laps to go. And these guys won't be pitting for another 4 laps. 3 laps. 4 laps. 3 laps. Oh, I don't know. I just said the last 2 just to be annoying. Neil Farmack at the moment fastest man on track, and Toten chasing him down, but just cannot live with that 2:03.028 that Neil Farmack has just laid down. And Toten then just trying to stay ahead of Toby at this point, and he'll be doing his teammate a humongous favour if he can keep Toby behind. Toten That is double pressure for Toten. He just wants to keep swimming and going forwards. And he doesn't need this hassle, but Toby is coming up towards the rear derriere, and it really would be a huge favour for Brisbane if Toten could just, you know, not hold Toby up, but just not let past. Simple as that. Oh, Toby just dropped it, baby! Toby just dropped it like it was mofo hot. Unbelievable stuff. We see he's chasing Toten down, pushing hard. Asked a lot of curb there. No, fine. And in there we had a wiggle as we went in. Oh, nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely nothing. Great recovery, though. Facing the right way. Just puts his foot back down on the accelerator. Just loses the one position to Callum. And maybe keeps Fitzy behind. Even though he's carrying that damage, he is going through. Oh, and Callum just decided to have an absolute Hail Mary into the wall. And that seemed to be from absolutely nothing. So, sorry for the bouncing around. I've lost where I was. Toby. There you go. He's still got the damage, though, coming onto the straight. So Fitzy still might be able to line him up just yet. But for the a total win of a round, it's not looking good now for Toby. That is a huge loss of time as we're coming closer to the last embers of the race. And Fitzy with Kenny D and Unforgiven all up and in their business. Toten absolutely loving life at the moment. That couldn't have worked out better for him. It was starting to look like a very stressful situation that Toten has avoided. And Toby now in sixth with a group of cars all waiting to overtake him. But Toby's now fixed his car on the move. And Fitzy, Kenny D and Unforgiven all lining up. Victor hasn't really made an impression on this race. And it's not the kind of race you can turn it around from the back. Smith as well in 11th. Callum slipping down to 12th after that small mistake. And Muhammad Ali picking up a penalty on those hard tyres. Brisbane, meanwhile, still taking it easy. His grip levels are dropping now, and he's just trying to navigate the Nissan around Mount Panorama, and Dergview keeping him honest. Grasshopper as well, awesome race for Grasshopper, can still see Derg ahead. These three are yet to pit. Neil Farmack could win this one, ladies and gentlemen. How far behind Brisbane as he is? We noticed Brisbane hasn't been going full pelt. He's been taking it relatively, not easy, but he's just, I've got a feeling he's not been pushing the car as hard as he possibly was in the first race, for sure. Derg as well. He's starting to drop off the pace now. I don't know if the medium tyres have given up the ghost, and Grasshopper's fuel has started flashing. But he was faster than Derg that last time around. What about this? 2:04.8 for Derg. Grasshopper a 2:04.9. Nothing in it between the two Nissan drivers. Like I said, Neil Farmack is looking good to take the lead of this race on. And he's got no one near him. Toten 2:03.8, but Neil Farmack absolutely 2:03.8 as well, matching Toten's pace. Toby in sixth. The question is, where are the top three going to come out of the pits when they make their stop? Toby now flicking the purples. That was a fastest lap. He went over the line. 2:02.6. He means business. Fitzy in seventh. Kenny D in eighth. Unforgiven in ninth. Victor in 10th, trying to catch up the guys ahead, but they're all just too fast for him. Smith in 11th with Callum in 12th. He's nowhere near Smith either, is he? And Muhammad Ali with that early stop on those hard tyres, and has not been able to find any pace whatsoever with the tyres, unfortunately. Brisbane's fuel's flashing. I think he's going to pit at the end of this one. He's going to have to do at least 3 laps on the hard tyre, as is Derg, as is Grasshopper. I mean, could they squeeze another lap out of that fuel? Oh, Brisbane's had a bang. Brisbane's got damage on the front part of his car, and Derg will be loving that news if the pit relays it to him. and Grasshopper as well. Brisbane losing a chunk of time before his decisive pit stop. I'm pretty sure all three of these are going to pit at the end of this lap. And that begs the question about Callum's fuel. He seems all right, because he stopped on lap 2, but these guys can't quite get 11 laps out of the Nissan. Maybe they can. No, Brisbane is definitely bringing it in. His tyres do look pretty rotten, and Derg also bringing it in as well, and Grasshopper bringing it in. So it's Neil Farmack. Where is he? He's coming up through the chase. Neil Farmack, after missing 3-4 rounds, this could be the comeback story of comeback stories. He comes around the start straight. Brisbane, Derg, Grasshopper, all still Derg. Brisbane's only just fueling up, and that's Neil Farmack up and through, and Brisbane's out. He's been released. He's just ahead of Neil Farmack. Derg, but they're on hard tyres, remember. Neil Farmack's on the medium tyre. This could be tasty. It could be tasty. Toten and Derg are virtually alongside each other. Toten just pulls ahead, and Derg's on those hard tyres. Toby is up to 5th, with Grasshopper coming out in 6th place ahead of Fitzy, who's also on the medium tyres. Unforgiven in 8th ahead of Kenny D, but Kenny D has closed right up to the back of Unforgiven, and Unforgiven is going to have an uncomfortable finish to this race, with Kenny D all up and in his business. Victor in 10th, with Smith in 11th, Callum in 12th, and Grahamad Ali in 13th. But it's Brisbane still leads, but he's on the hard tyre. He has Neil Farmack chasing him down on the faster tyre, ladies and gentlemen. Neil Farmack just has to be calm and stay cool. He could close up to Brisbane. He could take the win away from Brisbane here. Toten making the NASCARs get a double podium. The two of them. But will it be first and third, or will it be first? Second and third. Can Neil Farmack really put the cat amongst the pigeons here, as Brisbane, he's seeming to get comfortable on the hard tyres, and Neil Farmack is a bit of a way back, so we'll see. We've still got 2 laps after this lap. Toten in 3rd. He's going great guns at the moment. Neil Farmack, a 2:03.9 last time out, a 2:03.2 from Toten. So Neil Farmack comes around that final corner. What lap time can he put in this time around? A 2:04.6, not great. Toten, a 2:03.3, and Neil Farmack could be in trouble at this pace if Toten is going nearly a second and 0.3 faster than Neil Farmack at the moment, and Brisbane getting a free ride. Because Neil not putting the pressure on. Toten wanting to make it a NASCAR 1-2. Then we've got Toby in 4th ahead of Derg in 5th. And what's gone off? Grasshopper, Fitzy. Fitzy's just got past Grasshopper, sorry. He got a toe up this straight, I believe. So yeah, you see Fitzy lining up Grasshopper and going for the move side by side. It's going to be about the brakes. But Fitzy on the softer compound, the medium tyre, and Grasshopper trying to survive on those hards, and he's got a long list of cars waiting behind him, with Unforgiven, Kenny D, Victor, and Agent Smith not quite tucked up like he would like to be. So Grasshopper has a full card for the rest of this race. He's got a lot to do. He's got his hands full. Now Fitzy's fuel is flashing. Is that enough to get to the end? I believe it should be. Toby up into 4th. It's not been bad with that big accident that he had. Neil Farmack cannot close in on Brisbane, and at the moment it's looking like Brisbane might be okay. Neil Farmack, maybe he's feeling a little bit of tyre wear underneath him and can't quite close in on Brisbane. And Toten then is he's got to put the pressure on Neil Farmack now, hasn't he? He's really got to close in and try and get that 1-2 for the NASCAR team. That would be a stunning result in this second race. Toten really is as we go into the final lap, and Toten really is after that second place. So at the moment, Brisbane leads on the final lap. He's getting purples on the hard tyre, ladies and gentlemen. It is a light car, but still quite amazing. Neil Farmack is going to be clinging on to this second place because Toten is definitely bringing the noise. Toby in fourth. The best he could hope for, I imagine, after his huge accident out there. Derg, great position, fifth place. It could be his highest all season. Let me check my stats. For sure, his highest has been seventh so far. So fifth place for Dirk is exactly the movement he needs. And oh no, Fitzy's run out of fuel. Oh Jesus, my good golly gosh, on the final lap. And Fitzy has run out of fuel. I think he was ahead of Grasshopper maybe. Unforgiven though is really starting to put the pressure on Grasshopper as Kenny D goes up a position. Victor gets ninth. Smith up to 10th as Fitzy has the long walk of shame. Callum struggling with the corners as well in 12th. Can he catch Fitzy up before the end of the race? And Muhammad Ali crosses the line to start his final lap. And Brisbane then is looking very good, but who was under pressure? I saw someone was under, oh, it was Unforgiven on Grasshopper, but it looks like Grasshopper managing to pull away a little bit from that. Brisbane then coming through down towards the final corner. Neil Farmack did put the pressure on all the way to the end, as did Toten, but it's Brisbane getting another win for the NASCAR team. Great stuff. Neil Farmack getting second place on his comeback, and third for Toten, fourth for Toby. Dirk comes home in fifth spot, with a Grasshopper just about clinging on to that sixth from Unforgiven. Unforgiven's giving him a run to the line. Unforgiven in seventh, Kenny D in eighth, Victor in ninth. Smith comes home in 10th place, and Callum did catch Fitzy. He's coming home in 11th, with Fitzy still having to crawl around, and Muhammad Ali, for the second time this season, might not finish totally last if he gets his skates on. But Cal then bringing it home for 11th spot. Unfortunately, just two small mistakes really ruining it. He was definitely there, 5th, 6th position finishers, except for some small mistakes. And the learning circle still happens while he does the wheel. And Muhammad Ali is almost a straight away from Fitzy. Muhammad Ali pushing on hard at the moment. Now, this is going to run out of time, isn't it? Oh, please don't run out of time. I hate it when it runs out of time. I want to see Muhammad Ali catch up Fitzy. And Fitzy still trying to will that car on, but it is crawling. Muhammad Ali reaching the chase. And Muhammad Ali, he's going to get to him before the final corner. Fitzy, there's nothing he can do. He's there at the final corner. Muhammad Ali closing in, but is Fitzy going to get to the line? He's through the final corner, and no way, Fitzy with no fuel on board, managing to get to the line before Muhammad Ali. No, what happened? Yeah, Muhammad Ali finished ahead of Fitzy. Sorry. I don't know why it flicked up to Brisbane. But yeah, Muhammad Ali then, for the second time this season, does not finish in last place. Great drive. And Fitzy, just unlucky, man. Unlucky with the fuel. He was racing hard though, wasn't he, in the middle there. He was pushing on. Didn't keep an eye on that fuel gauge. So Brisbane takes another win to add to the two that he's already got. That's 3 wins for Brisbane. He's catching Toby up. No Bailey in the mix as well is going to make a big difference in the points. And Neil Farmack, the man of the day, the man of the hour, has brought the noise and got himself second place after missing 4 rounds. So that fantastically... Oh, I want a good shot of a car before I... Why are they all backwards? So that was round 6 of the GRSC Season 1 League of Champions for the Ultimate Racing League. Don't forget to miss the next, or don't miss the next stream, next round, round 7. We are at, what do they call it? The Petit Le Mans. We're at Road Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be very interesting in these big, bulky Nissans. It is one you do not want to miss. So catch it. All the action here at Thingamajig's Racing Channel. Thank you for joining me this morning, if you joined me. And thank you for watching, if you've watched a little bit later, because you're normal people and you're not up at silly hours in the morning because you're doing a night shift. Okay, then, that's me done. Tooroo. Peace and love. Peace and love. To be continued.